And sets another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to wait, escape from the world so cold and gray.
That skipper.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bones and Tubs.
We're back, even though we're heavily under attack of the seasonal dogwood tree in the catalpa. That beautiful tree that smells like a cum rag in a teenager's bedroom.
They come and cull us every year.
Yeah.
They take away our spirit and our want to live. If you notice my voice today, that's because unfortunately I tried to hold off as long as I could to mow my lawn, but yesterday I had to mow it because I was having family over and I didn't want them to see the sorry state of it. And I was playing bocce ball in the backyard too, and you really can't play a good game of bocce ball with some long ass grass going on.
Gotta have short trim.
Yeah, so I mowed the grass, and as soon as I got done, I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah.
Started hacking and coughing, and well, here I am today, kind of sounding like some sort of quasi stuffed up. I don't know who I sound like more, either probably Tom Waits or I thought maybe Leonard Cohen.
There you go.
I could sing you a sultry, sexy ballad right now, and it would sound so sexy.
Gets me wet and makes me feel sick.
Every time. But,
should hit up Amazon Prime on some of that fucking olive leaf extract.
No, I tell you what, they don't give us any money, but I tell people all the time they should get Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's premium.
Yeah, and like, you know, the thing is, I was kind of worried. I was like, am I going to get my monies back on this? Because it's $100 a year, right? Mm. But the thing is, I just stopped buying things. Like, if I had to buy a gift for somebody, I wouldn't go to the store anymore. I just get on Amazon and buy it.
Yeah, you're just shifting the cost burden.
Yeah, you get that 2 free day shipping.
It's over.
After you order about, 5 or 6 things, it's paid for itself already.
Got 'em.
Got 'em. I know how to do it.
I sounded just like you, and I started that Ollie Purpurin olive leaf extract, and it knocked my symptoms down like 95% after the first pill.
I might have to get some of that.
Premium.
But we should have a good show for you today. Kind of into that formula we used last time because we really enjoyed it, but we're tweaking it just a little bit because we're going to start off the show with a little bit of a lighter topic and then go into the meat and bones of the topic, which are, I think, ultimately what this show is going to be. Because, you know, I think we're always trying to find our grind. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we're going to stop doing funny, goofy shit. But I think we enjoy making big discussion about society's ills.
Yeah.
If my partner agrees with me on
that. I like
that.
to think if I can help one person shift their mentality to an awakened one, then I've done my job.
Exactly. Like, I'm not saying that I want to red pill a whole bunch of people.
I do. I'd be the Bill Cosby at the party.
But
red pilling everybody.
But yeah, so, you know, I think that works better for us. Like, we're both, I mean, we inject a little comedy into what we do, but I think, like, we both get very impassioned about certain topics, and I think that's why we're going to be moving into that. You know, maybe do a lighthearted one, and then go into the societal ills, and really dive deep into that. Not to say it won't be funny, but we'll let you be the judge of that.
Yes.
But yeah, so today, since I felt weird we didn't do a question from St. Catherine last time, I figured I'd start the show, because she usually sends us some nice, good ones to, like, get us going. So, she sent us one this week. Thank you, St. Catherine.
Thank you.
Our Lady of College Corner. She asked, what societal expectation for behavior do you most look forward to shedding in your golden years?
Ooh. Well, I was just thinking earlier this morning that it's hard for me to be, you know, racist while I'm naked.
That's true.
Right now.
That's a problem.
Once I lose continence with my, you know, lower extremities, then I'll just walk around nude and talk about Japs and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to remove the filter from your brain, your mouth. I mean, I would say that or like the ability to, like, I noticed a lot, like, especially people, the elderly in my family, is they get to a point where they don't care anymore what you think about how they think about you. So, like, if they think you're doing something fucked up, they won't beat around the bush about it. They're just going to be like, so, when you going to leave her? Or,
Right.
So, when you going to quit that stupid-ass job of yours?
Right.
You know, I've seen that happen before. Like, one time they did to one of my cousins, and I was just like, oh, shit.
For extra goddamn problem, you're going to die. You're going to die!
But, I definitely say the removal of the societal, that, at least the heaviest filter.
Can I segue a quick story?
Sure, go
from
ahead.
the leprechaun locksmith?
Okay, go ahead.
He told me a story a while ago about his father, who I guess he went over to the house to help him, you know, just see what was going on, what needed done.
Yeah.
Just check in on him, and he pulls up, and he's got this scowl. He's standing outside in his underwear with a gun belt, toting a .357, open carry, and a pair of whitey tighties, sipping whiskey.
Nice.
He's arrived.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your societal norms.
Exactly. What are you going to do about it? You
Nothing.
call the cops on me? Cops going to show up here and be like, what? I'm
Get off my property!
a sovereign citizen. You
Yeah.
can't come on my property. I've done nothing wrong.
Yeah. Except when we get to be that age, we'll all have camera phones and be like, I'm recording this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good.
For real.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I'd say the filter, because everything else that comes with age, I don't think I'd be like ready for. I'm not ready to have to wear a diaper.
No.
Like, I don't remember having to wear a diaper, but something tells me it was a wholly unpleasant experience.
Yeah, my son can attest to that.
Yeah, so unpleasant that I learned how to shit in a bowl of water.
Yeah. In an
So-
uncomfortable position.
Yeah. So if that's testament enough to how terrible diapers are.
Yeah.
And the fact that if you're wearing a diaper, more than likely someone else is changing it for you.
Right.
And that's if you're like, if your mind's still up here and you're using a diaper, that would be the most embarrassing shit ever.
Unless you're the Queen of England.
Yeah. well,
Because, I mean, she's still doing that shit.
she's the Queen of England. She don't have to give a fuck.
What's that called? The Master of the Stool or something?
Oh, yeah.
There's some actual position where they still fill it. They
Yeah.
clean the royal penis or
Yeah.
wipe
Well,
the
just
royal
be glad it's
butthole.
not a king. Then they'd have to be catching his semen.
Ooh-wee.
Mm.
About time we brought back the patriarchy to that old archaic fucking twat waffle.
Watch my balls.
Yes. The royal penis is clean, your highness.
King shit.
Boom.
But yeah, so, yeah, thanks for the question's sake, Catherine. We appreciate it.
We hope that you're pleased by it.
Yeah. But, so I think we're going to move on to the meat and bones of today's show.
Yeah.
The bones and tubs of today's show, if you want to take it that way.
Got him.
But I didn't know if you wanted, we had two bigger things we were wanting to cover.
I'm going to weave them together. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, okay, we could do that
I wasn't
too.
really hip to Kafka trapping. And even after I read it several hundred times, I still had to make it 2 words. I can't read one word, Kafka trapping.
It's better said one word. You don't really say it, like, because you're trying to, it's just, I feel like it should be hyphenated, but it's not.
There you go. Yeah, it needs a hyphen. I mean, at least to look at it. I say it Kafka trapping, but
Yeah.
in my head of heads, if I look at it, it gets fucked up. But it's the newest logical fallacy. I'm glad that somebody named it.
Yeah, me too. I saw it, and as soon as I was like, I know who Frank Kafka is. I've read Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? Let me see what somebody has named Frank Kafka after. And I look at the article and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I know this thing. I was like, I didn't know this thing had a name yet.
It's beautiful. I wrote it down here in the end, real quick. Let me pull this up. It's, to me, it's like the stories of demonic possession. You know how the priest gains power over the demon?
Yeah.
He names it. This demon's been running rampant through society for far too long, and now that we've named it, I hope we've shed light on it and it will die.
Does that mean we could trap it?
I hope so.
So maybe we just need to call Bubba Elroy.
Yeah.
Bubba.
Elroy.
Bubba Elroy, come help us.
Yeah.
Help us capture the Kafkatrap.
Right.
It's going to get us all.
We've got the demon's name, and I hope that's a signal of the end.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of it.
But to those of you out there that don't actually know what we're talking about when it comes to Kafka trapping, it's the notion that say you're in an argument with somebody, and I don't even know if you can you pin this just on liberals, or could this be pinned on all over the political spectrum?
I think you could put it everywhere, but
could you Mad Libs this shit and just have the Kafka trap equation? I mean, I think you could.
You could, but I think it's more or less used.
It's more or less used
in
by
a leftist
liberals
mentality right now.
Yeah. But the notion is that Okay, say someone says something about your white privilege, and you say, I don't believe in white privilege.
Yeah.
Well, then they say, you're racist.
Right.
Because you don't believe in white privilege.
Your refusal to acknowledge is
Makes
proof
you
in their minds that you're guilty of whatever they accuse you of.
Exactly. So, thus creates the Kafkatrap.
Yeah.
It is it's the Kobayashi Maru of political arguments.
Logical fallacy.
Yeah, you've set yourself up to be set into a corner where there's no way, if you're the person getting Kafkatrapped, in reality, and at least and the person who did it's mind, there's no way for you to pull out of this without, without coming out the other side torn. But here's the thing. This is what I've noticed is, with the Kafkatrap, and I haven't come up with a name for this yet. I don't know what to call it. But I feel like there is a response to Kafkatrapping. I feel like there's two responses. Now that it has a name, for me, like you said, the demon's been named. If it happens to me, I'll just say, hey, dude, you're Kafka-trapping me. Just like a woman would say, if a woman tells me I'm mansplaining, it's the same difference, right?
I can't hear you over all your Kafka-trapping.
Yeah, I can't hear you have Kafka-trapping. You don't want to have a real dialogue. You just want to try to paint me into a corner.
I wrote down two beautiful examples. One, your refusal to acknowledge that you are guilty of sin, racism, sexism, homophobia, or oppression is proof and confirms that you're guilty, right?
Yeah.
The other one is, you may not have done, felt, or thought any of these things, but you're still guilty because you belong to a position of privilege created by those like you, i.e. male, white, or heterosexual. The only way that you can get out of this trap is consent. Silence is consent.
Well, here's the thing. I think there's multiple ways. Here's what I think. Okay. One, you call the demon by its name.
Yeah.
And you could, and anybody with half a brain who did it, because I think a lot don't realize they did it. They've done it.
Well, they're automatons. They're just they're peacocking arguments.
So if you set upon them that they've in fact Kafka trapped you, they might back up and realize that they've done something terrible.
What would you do if their head spun and they spit out pea soup?
Run.
Started to sex up a crucifix.
There's no saving them. Run.
Okay, yeah. Get out.
And then I've been, I spend a lot of time, and so does my partner on the internet, observing different political spectrums. And what I've found is that when someone is put into a Kafka trap, more often than not, especially an alt-righter, there's the other alternative. And that's doubling down on whatever these people just said to you.
Yeah.
And like, they say you're racist, you double down on that shit and say, yeah, I'm racist, I hate blank.
Yeah, insert epitaph.
Insert racial epitaph.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only other way to get out of it, and it's like a smoke bomb. All you're doing is getting crack like Batman.
Yeah, but you better
you get the
you better be quick on the recoil though, because otherwise they're just gonna rebound and rape you.
Then they'll smell the sharks will smell blood in the water.
Yeah.
But then again, it just depends. These like proverbial internet knife fights depend on how many people you got in your corner in the thread.
Right.
Because say an alt-righter is getting backed into a corner, it looks like there's no hope left.
If you're not angrily texting on the DL some of your dudes to join that thread, then you're fucked.
It's like, imagine you're Luke Skywalker and you're in the trench on Death Star.
Yeah.
And you got Darth Vader behind you about to blast you, and you don't know what's going to happen. He's about to get you.
Yeah.
He's got you in the Kafka trap.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, you let your dude know, hey, I need help. And fucking your dude, the proverbial Han Solo of the situation, comes in. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Like he goes on whoever's fighting you's profile, sees some fucked up shit. Hey, remember when you posted this shit?
Right. You got to have the proverbial Han Solo to walk in with a big dick and a heart, a big dick and a smile.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're fucking smashed.
He just comes in and says, "Miss me?"
Yeah. I love you.
But like you said, there's the other way, which is consent, admitting defeat.
It's a trippy, slippery slope that we find ourselves in with that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and to get a little deeper into it, it's called Kafka trapping because it's named after Frank Kafka. He was a writer in the early 20th century. Like I said, I read one of his books, so I know what I was getting myself into when I knew something was named after him. He's a bit of an absurdist. His stuff is never to be taken literally. It's supposed to mean something, but never like in the literal sense. He's not telling a story about the people in the book. He's telling a broader story.
Right.
about how fucked up society is.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book called The Trial. And The Trial is about this man, this normal man, who suddenly finds himself pursued by police. And being run down by police and being brought to trial. And throughout the entire process, mind you, it's utterly absurd.
Yeah.
Nobody ever tells him why he's been brought up like this. They don't tell him what crime he's committed. So he has to just go with the flow, proverbially.
Yeah.
And be accused of something that he has no idea what he did.
The sole purpose is to just defame him, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of that, the Kafka wrote that concerning like the proverbial kangaroo courts of the USSR. Where like, say Stalin saw someone rising up and he saw them as a challenge to his power. Well, then he would have them arrested for treason. Now, that treason wouldn't actually exist. He's pointing out when justice no longer serves its actual purpose, which is to protect the people and to bring people to justice who need it and deliver fair verdicts, and only begins to serve the people who created it in the first place.
I.e. the Patriot Act?
I.e. the Patriot Act. I.e. anything else you want to get into on that, because the thing is that
Political
in this
weapons.
day and age, I mean, and there is a lot of people that would agree with me on this, our justice system and our judicial system is fucked.
Yeah, with a giant clown dick.
There's no ifs, ands, buts around that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, are they really serving us anymore?
No.
Does it make sense that, like, somebody could, you know, be and like I said, this kind of deals with the last thing we did. Like, someone slinging dope gets 20 years, but somebody can take advantage of somebody without their consent, ruin, and proverbially, like...
Make them ruined.
Yeah, make them ruined. Like, and I know some people out there might think that's a little bit harsh, but here's the thing, like, you know, rape lasts forever.
Yeah. Unless you believe in that video you sent me.
What's that?
Wasn't, the lady was trying to, like...
Oh, my God.
She's trying to talk down...
Oh, my God.
...society against, basically it's pedophile apology. Like, she's trying to say that it's natural for adults to love children and children to love adults or each other, and we need to back off these archaic laws.
I thought about segueing into this real quick, because that was one of two things I saw this week. And I distinctly remember saying on the show a while back that I took everything I saw when it came to clover gender, pedosexuals, or anything like that with a grain of salt. And I said, and I wasn't going to freak out about it until I saw a mainstream article concerning it, right? Well, I saw that video initially. It's a video of a woman, and she's explaining that she thinks that we have, as a society, have demonized pedophilia. In reality, it's not as bad as we all think.
No, she's wrong.
In fact, if we open up a dialogue with our children about how awesome it is, they'll think it's awesome too. I'm not even shitting you. I don't know if it's a farce, and that's why I think at the end of the day, I didn't want to post the video, because I wouldn't know if she was being serious or she was being ironic.
See, but that's the thing, though, with this argument. That's how all this shit starts. It starts out in that realm of gray, where it can't be named and it can't be called out. If we just bash the shit out of it now with a psychic sledgehammer, it'll have to go away. Yeah. We can't sit here and let it just continue to spread and not talk shit about it.
But, and then the second thing, and then the second thing I saw was an article, and like I said, I always said I wasn't going to freak out about shit until it was in a mainstream publication. And can you agree with me, at least to an extent, that Huffington Post, some would consider a mainstream publication?
Some would consider.
Okay. I mean, and that's the thing, like, the people I'm appealing to on this are the people who do think Huffington Post is a legitimate concern.
Right. It's as legitimate as any of the other mainstream sources.
Exactly. So the people I'm appealing to on this and trying, because, like, I already know, I'm preaching to the choir at least half my audience right now. They got their blood boiling already, like, ooh, they know, but I'm appealing to the ones who might be on the fence about this and think, just like I thought for a while, that this wasn't real, that it was just trumped up nonsense. But, you know what the fucked up part is? I read this article, and the article's about the fact that the APA, the American Psychological Association, basically the highest group in the land to decide psychological facts, and it's also where governments form laws. It's where they base their laws off, is based off the findings from the APA and all this. And they decided that pedophilia in and of itself would no longer be considered a mental disorder.
Right. It's a sexual preference.
Oh, So I read this.
Yeah.
And I freaked out, and I wrote this huge Facebook post about it. And normally, I'm not so I'm not so divisive. I don't like try to be like, if you don't like this, fuck off. But this was the time, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote this huge, scathing Facebook post about, I tried to think, this was just all trumped up, that it wasn't real. And I was like, but this right here signals to me this shit. They're trying to fucking make pedophilia something normal, something that should be accepted, and that I would be a bigot if I didn't. And I'm like, it was a beautiful, like, long piece that I wrote. And it ended very decisively because I was like, listen, if you have a problem with me hating on this, please try to justify it to me.
Go eat a bowl.
I want you to try to justify this fucking bullshit to me. I beg you. I was like, and if you don't like, and I was like, and the thing is, and if you disagree with me on this, unfriend me. I was like, normally I'm not like I'm not that divisive. But I was like, if you are into this shit, unfriend me. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, yeah. So I put that up, and then I was talking to somebody about it, and right when I posted it, the doctor actually saved me. Yeah. He sent me a text that said, hey, that thing's from 2013. Which blew my mind even more that this thing was posted in 2013, and I had never been aware of it.
Yeah, so it just goes to show it's been ingrained farther in the foundation than...
Exactly. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I don't know if you ever watched The Watchmen or not.
No.
Or read the book, but it reminded me of the villain at the end. Like, when he's, in, like, cartoons and comics and stuff, usually, like, when the villain has the hero tied up, he'll explain his whole plan and be like, then I'm going to do this, and I'll take over the world. Yeah. But he hasn't done anything right. It's kind of like a James Bond thing, too. He basically explains every aspect of his plan and allows the hero enough time to escape and stop it.
Leaves him to die on the slow-moving laser table.
Now, spoiler alert. Yeah. In The Watchmen, he's doing this. He's detailing his plan of what he's going to do and all this stuff. And one of the heroes is like, you won't be able to do this. We're going to stop you. And he's like, stop me. I initiated this 20 minutes ago. Yeah, bitch. He's like, and he destroyed like 3 or 4 cities. Like, he's like, oh yeah, that was about 20 minutes ago. Yeah. You're too late.
Thanks for letting me talk.
Yeah. I wasn't, he's like, and he was like, do you really think I was going to tell you before I did it?
The one villain in the history of villains that read the 48 Laws of Power and decided not to give his plan away before it was executed.
Exactly. And I even thought, I was like, and when I saw this thing for 2013, I thought the same thing. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God, this isn't something new. This isn't something we can fully flesh out, rip it out from the roots. It's too late now.
No.
The roots are deep.
No. We still have time. And I think that's a justifiable shooting war right there. You start having pedos walk the streets and grabbing on children.
Oh, man.
I don't think so, friend. I don't think so.
No, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say, everyone's like, we talked about this shit before. Yeah, we did. And the thing is, I pulled that post down because it was so, that article was so old. But I just saw it on somebody's feed. Yeah. So you have to forgive me. Well, sometimes.
Sorry I found out about it too late.
Yeah, and another thing I posted this week, and this goes hand in hand with exactly what I just did. I pulled something that was kind of old, right? And I noticed something else as I go through people's articles, and mind you, I have friends all over the spectrum, right? Yeah. I'll see something somebody puts, and it's something very decisive and kind of seemed a bit ignorant. And I posted a message on Facebook, and I was like, listen, if you're going to post something divisive and something that people are going to disagree with, I was like, for the love of God, before you share it, check the comments on it.
Come on.
I was like, more often than not, from what I've been finding here lately, somebody debunks something in the comments. Yeah. And I actually got into a bit of a spitting war with somebody on one of them. Somebody had posted something about how Memorial Day was actually created by African Americans. And at first I was like, I was ignorant. So I was like, okay, let me look at the comments. And come to find out, like, there's like 20 different places in the country that claim that they created Memorial Day. Right. There's not one Memorial Day. Well, there is now, but back then everybody had a different name for it, right? And I found this in the comments, and there was this woman in there who was just crazy as fuck. And she was like a 40-year-old something white woman talking about how much she hated white people and shit, and how much they're the scourge of the earth and all this shit. Yeah. And this is the first time I got to apply Kafkatrapping And another thing, which I want to talk about a little bit, which was virtue signaling.
Oh, yes.
And I even posted on there, I said, there's a lot, I was like, her name was Betsy or some shit. I was like, Betsy, you're creating Kafkatraps and you're virtue signaling like a motherfucker.
Mansplaining.
And like, fucking 20 people like my shit. They're like, yeah.
Feels like power.
But if anybody out there doesn't know what virtue signaling is, I pulled up the definition. It's the action or practice of publicly expressing opinions or sentiments intended to demonstrate one's good character or the moral correctness of one's position on a particular issue.
Nice.
That is virtue signaling. I beg of you, all of Bones and Tubbs Nation, please don't do this.
No. One of my other favorite new terms, people that use virtue signaling. Have you heard of white knighting?
A little bit. I haven't really touched that one too much.
It's these weak, otherwise not going to mate white men, typically, that go out in these normally feminist groups or these other groups, and they try to protect women by arguing. It's like, if you look at it, it's like nature, you know, how normally the strongest of a species mates. Well, they're not in that category, so then they try to camouflage themselves as some sort of protector and virtue signal their way into some tang.
Oh, well, isn't that nice?
It is.
I mean, this shit kills me, man.
It's nice, though, that we have terms, we're naming it, we're fleshing it out. I feel like we're shaking the rug.
Yes, this is like, it's like when doctors first started figuring out anatomy. This new beast, this new political beast, we have to slay it. We've slayed parts of it. We haven't slayed the whole beast, but we've started identifying parts of it. Yeah. And I would say Kafkatrapping is definitely a large piece, and so is virtue signaling, white knighting, and, all that bit.
I want to play a game real quick.
Okay.
If you're ready to segue into our final end topic.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. I wrote down some quotes here.
All right.
From a guy, Harvard undergraduate. Okay. And I want to see if you can guess who he is.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's see here. First quote. Those who are most sensitive about politically incorrect terminology are not the average ghetto-dwelling African-American, Asian immigrant, abused woman, or disabled person, but a minority of activists, many of who come from the privileged strata of society. That's one quote. Mm-hmm. The leftist is anti-individualistic. He is not the sort of person with an inner sense of confidence in his own ability to solve his own problems and satisfy his own needs. Number 3 is, art forms that appeal to the leftist tend to focus on defeat and despair, as if there were no hope of accomplishing anything through rational calculation. And then, I'm sorry, I've got one more leftist quote. It's obvious that leftists are not cool-headed. They're not cool-headed logicians systematically analyzing the foundations of knowledge. They are deeply involved emotionally in their attack on truth and reality. And then just to, kind of even the playing field, I didn't want to just bash leftists. I figured I'd bash conservatives also.
Okay.
The conservatives are fools. They whine about the decay of traditional values, yet they enthusiastically support technological progress and economic growth. Apparently, it never occurs to them that you can't make rapid, drastic changes in technology and the economy of a society without causing rapid changes in all other aspects of society as well, and that such rapid changes inevitably break down traditional values.
Well said.
This guy's a Harvard undergraduate. He's a world-renowned author. Some have hailed him as a visionary, prophet, altruist, America's last sweetheart.
Yeah.
However, other people have described him as the Unabomber. Theodore Kaczynski.
You almost need to do a Paul Harvey thing at the end of that and be like, and that's the rest of the story.
Yeah, and there we are.
But no, we are actually talking about the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski.
Theodore Kaczynski.
Now, here's the thing. And can I disclaim this before we get started?
You can do whatever you want.
All right. Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah.
He had some good ideas.
Yeah.
Had some notions about how we needed to approach the new age.
I wanted to talk more about his surrogate activities explanation, but I didn't have time.
But here's the thing. At the end of the day, he still bombed the shit out of some buildings.
He did.
And how many people? Did a lot of people die, or did?
More than none.
Yeah, more than none. So I don't have
quote unquote terrorist.
I probably would listen to him, but I would never give him a glass of water.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just water.
I mean, like, say he, like, was doing something and he got in an accident and he was laying on the ground and doing some sort of first aid on him is what would be required to save his life.
Mm.
I think I'd put my shoe on his throat.
Yeah.
That's not to say I disagree with a lot of things he said.
Right.
It's just I don't disagree with bombing the shit out of people either.
Well, I mean, he proved one thing. You know, love him or hate him, he's able to get something published.
Yeah. I mean, hell, that's some... I tell you what, that's some gonzo publishing tactics right there.
I think he was, like, engaged in bombing for, like, a decade, almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
And then he wrote the Washington Post and the Times and said, hey, I'm the guy that's been bombing the dog shit out of these things. If you publish my manifesto in the Times or the Washington Post, I'll stop.
Yeah.
And, you know, just me to take the conspiracy vein, as I often will, this guy is way too smart to have silly-ass spelling errors and just grammatical errors.
Yeah.
I think they edited his shit. And they said that if you wrote him, because he's still alive, right, in prison?
I think he is. Hold on.
Google fact-checking in real time. But I heard that people who write him and express interest in his work, he'll send them an unadulterated copy.
Fuck yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 75 years old. You might want to write him now.
I wonder what societal norms he shed himself of.
Jesus.
Other than bombing senators' offices and
Yeah.
what have you. I mean, those are pretty important norms to maintain.
They call him a serial killer.
Yeah.
They give him a lot of names. On the Wikipedia page. Wikipedia.
Yes.
American serial killer, domestic terrorist, and self-professed anarchist. Would you call him an anarchist, really?
Well,
I don't know if he was like... But here's the thing. He was totally against, like... Okay, if you're talking about anarchist, you would move towards anarcho-capitalism, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically like the private free market dictates and creates everything. And I'm talking from the water you drink to the mass public transit system, everything. The government does nothing.
Right.
In anarcho-capitalism. So then first the anarchy, right?
Yeah.
There is no government. Okay? If he was anti-technology and anti-progress, the whole system built around progress in the economy is the economy.
Right.
So why would he be an anarchist then? That description right there doesn't even make sense to me.
It's another logical fallacy.
Exactly. Because, like, he was all about here we go. Okay, they have a name for it. It's called anarcho-primitivism. Okay. So it's not anarcho-capitalism.
Names.
Yeah. So basically, he wanted they make it sound like he wanted us to live in the Stone Ages. I don't believe that either.
Well, he did leave his entire academic life and go into the woods, into the bush, and learn survivalist skills while he was perfecting his nail bombing technique and, writing.
Yeah, but...
Shift of consciousness.
Listen, man, at the end of the day, there's a couple things you got to take into account here.
Yeah.
Dude was a Harvard grad. He wasn't an idiot.
No.
Okay, he might have had a couple screws loose.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing, you said altruist, right? He firmly and fully believed that what he was doing was right.
Yeah.
Because he believed that technology and the industrial world were going to lead us into destruction. And some, even today, would fully and firmly agree with that notion.
Right. Well, I definitely do.
Now, I think that if we manage to take a hold of it and wrestle this fucking dragon to the ground, put our fingers in its nose holes and direct it in the right direction, we might have a chance.
Maybe. But
it would require strict monitoring on our part. That's the thing about it. And
men are too easily corrupted, though.
See, but the thing is, I can't deal with the other way.
Yeah.
I can't be a socialist.
No. Well, I don't... No.
I was actually, I was talking to the doctor the other day, and I said, here's the problem. I was like, we've gotten away so much from our capitalists being moral individuals who believe in helping people that the only way to come back from it now would be total chaos for at least a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Or for the government to step in and take control of every industry. And I know you got that face, but here's the thing. And I don't like it either, but here's the thing. Drastic times call for drastic measures. No. Something has to be done.
I feel like you're reading the script from the Star Wars,
What I'm going full empire right now.
Taking over the Senate and all that. No, man.
I don't know what to do, though.
Full authoritarian control never solves anything.
Well, okay, you have a point there, because then, absolute power corrupts absolutely. We've seen it time and time again.
We're living through it constantly, just with a different puppet every 4 to 8 years.
What's the other option at that point?
I think the root probably lies somewhere in a sexy mixture of every single person, or at least a large majority of people, rejecting the system. I mean, if it's some form of libertarian anarchism that has yet to be defined.
Okay. So, sort of like mild agorism, more or less.
If we could wage war against every aspect of society that we found to be disgusting, right? And we took control of every person in society like a weapon. Yeah. And we used the collective buying power to stop buying bullshit from various industries.
Yeah.
That's one great way to change every single thing. But you have to get all the sheep together.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out modes of doing things. I don't want to go full empire.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to go full fucking anarchy in the U.S. kind of shit.
Well,
right? I think there has to be something more toward the middle of those two options.
Yeah.
That would work better. And it's like you said, a collective effort. So, as, like I said, we talked about on the show before, libertarian. Now, an agorist would go on to say, they call us partyarchy. Because they think we still want to, they even call us, some would go on to call us status.
Mm-hmm. Because
we still believe that there's hope in the system.
Yeah.
So, the only path forward, in my opinion, is the one where we get into the system. We involve ourselves in the system and change the system from the inside out.
Somehow not be corrupted on your journey to the top.
Well, exactly. See, that's the problem, though. But here's the thing. There are politicians, it's not impossible.
It's not, but it's
happened. But the problem is getting other industries on board to help that person. Case in point, Ron Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's obvious to us now that the media was ignoring the shit out of him back in 2012.
Right. The only time he got airtime was after he wasn't selected as the primary.
Yeah. And even to an extent, his son felt the same things happen to him. He just wasn't the press was not interested in him.
The doctor and I met him one time, and I think it was in Cincinnati. And
who, Rand or Ron?
Rand. Mm. And when we questioned him on his support of Romney, because at the time he came out and was supporting Romney, and we were like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you have to look at the long game. See, but that's that same fucking argument that pushes you into that corruption era. Because it gives them...
That's too partyarchy for me.
Yeah, way too partyarchy. I feel like if you look at one side, you say absolute anarchy in the left hand, right?
Yeah.
And in the right hand, you hold absolute statism. They're both fucked. Because on the left hand, people are too stupid, and they don't have the knowledge required to self-govern.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you can't give the government full power because every historical reference shows that is going to lead to nothing short of us getting showered.
What if you get the chance of being fucking Darth Vader in this scenario?
Fuck, I'll burn it all to the ground. Yeah.
They give you a lightsaber and everything. Like, okay, so here's your status, your Darth Vader mask and the cape, and here's your lightsaber.
I just want a voice modulator too. This sounds very good. That's very Kissinger.
Yeah. I can see Kissinger as a Sith.
Yeah.
Kissinger is a Sith in the way that he thinks, like, what he's doing is the best thing possible. Like, this is the only way to go. Like, he's not quite Emperor Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine, like, relishes in his evilness.
Right.
I see him more as, like, kind of like Anakin Skywalker when he first turned evil, where he's like, I'm doing this for the greater good kind of shit.
Right.
But,
how many kids did you kill, you fuck?
You sick bitch.
Yeah.
How many kids did you straight up fucking cut down with your lightsaber?
I have 2 recommendations for the nation of Bones and Tubs country, where you should go to bonesandtubs.com, go to the blog. I copied and pasted Industrial Society and Its Future. Now give it a read, Yeah. Because we both agree that motherfucker was crazy. It is crazy. However, that doesn't discount the fact that he is spot on in his assessment of exactly what's going on in society right now.
Yeah.
All these fucking pedophile apologists and all these people that are virtue signaling, white knighting, Kafkatrapping. I mean, get your knowledge up.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like he hit the nail on the head when it comes to their arguments. He said they're not found in logic or reason for the most part. These arguments are found. These are emotional arguments.
Right.
Okay. I try to express this to people, like, if you use logic and reason and your socio-political mindset, you will find yourself more often than not probably either a moderate or a libertarian.
Yeah.
You won't find, like, you just have to use sound, clean, concise logic here. Mm-hmm. Like, and everyone's like, here's the thing. You have one side that says that people are way too dumb to be able to handle this shit on their own. Yeah. They can't take care of themselves.
I would say that, but I would also say that everyone has the power to increase their knowledge. Like, you could become perfectly able at being sovereign. That's
the thing.
But they don't believe that they could gain that knowledge, right?
Yeah, you can become I hate saying this because it sounds like you're isolating yourself, but you really can become an island unto yourself. That doesn't mean you don't have to communicate with people, but being self-reliant is being responsible.
Yeah.
Knowing yourself more and knowing how to do things and all that stuff. Like, those are things you need to do. And don't think the government's going to help you in doing it.
That's what's crazy to me is, like, we're talking about these two absolutist ideas of being the only cause, but really it wasn't this country founded on the fact that we were all self-reliant. We could do anything we put our minds to.
Exactly.
We didn't need a fucking government to do anything for us, or
that, and we didn't want a government that was thousands of miles away to make decisions for us when they had no idea how we were living.
Right. So we sent hardcore, big dick swinging guys from, horseback.
Yeah.
Walking in with a fucking big cherry in their mouth and a fucking slinging dick with both hands to represent, the people.
Did you know that George Washington got shot off of like 4 or 5 horses in his time?
It's fucking hardcore.
Like, you imagine riding a horse full fucking force, bang! And fucking all of a sudden, the horse just falls forward. Oh shit! Yeah,
spits his wooden teeth out.
Not only that, you got a nice sharp ass saber in your hand as you're falling too. Like, oh fuck!
Yeah, trying to land on legs with numb nuts.
Yeah, but
man,
I mean, think about it. I don't like getting off another segue here, but I don't think I've ever mentioned on the show how hard as fuck Washington is.
Yeah,
but that motherfucker slayed people on Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
He fucking crossed a frozen river and fucking on Christmas morning whilst people were drunk and tired, killed them motherfuckers.
Yeah. Savage.
In wholesale killing them.
Right.
Savage as fuck.
And he turned down kingship.
Exactly. See, he's one of the hardest motherfuckers to ever live.
Right.
That's all there is to it.
That's it.
If you want to just follow his example, that dude, okay, he fought, in the French and Indian War, he fought for England because that's what we were part of then. But then, after the French Indian War, England had to pay for that war with taxes. So they taxed the shit out of us. Now, Washington was a farmer, just like a lot of people were back then. And he was feeling the heat from all this taxes. So when they started, there was a call to arms to form our own country. That motherfucker got up, put his own money into it, first of all.
Yeah.
This is a time when if you wanted to make an army, you had to put your own fucking money into it.
Put your money where your mouth is.
So that's what he did. He paid his soldiers with his own goddamn money.
Fucking A.
But, and then when the war was over, he's like, I'm done. I'm gonna go home and farm.
We're gonna make you king. And he's like, nah.
Pass, bro.
Yeah.
Pass.
I'm cool.
And he went home, and then the people called to him, like, hey, we have this position. It's not king. It's president. You only go for so long. And he's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. I'm only doing it for 2 terms. I'm not doing it any longer than that.
Let me finish Raw Dog and Martha, and we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
Back to this governing thing.
So, it is an example of only the few times in history where a man had everything he needed to become a despot, but chose not to.
Right.
The only one I have in mind other than that is Cincinnatus, which is what Cincinnati's named after, actually. If you looked in the history, he was a Roman general who had all the ability to just ride right into Rome and take it over and become a king, but he retired his army and went home.
He said, I'm cool.
Yeah. Nobility. That's true nobility right there.
Right. So, that's the first suggestion. Definitely read The Industrial Society and Its Future.
Yeah.
And then go to YouTube and look up Henry Kissinger and listen to his voice. Those are my 2 suggestions.
You won't be disappointed by Henry Kissinger.
It is the perfect time for Barack Obama to create a new world order.
Do not make fun of my body type. God made me this way.
I have baloney nipples.
Richard Nixon and me used to take baths together.
It was the most goddamn thing I've ever seen.
He used to scrub my back with loofah. It was nice.
Oh, man. Heavy.
But yeah, I think my Kissinger's, I think I'm better at it when I'm sick.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Let me try this a little bit more. I'm just going to read something Theodore John Kaczynski, also known as Unabomber, is an American serial killer, domestic terrorist, and self-professed anarchist. A mathematical prodigy.
Yeah. We had a really sweet annotation about Theodore Kaczynski from the doctor, not a doctor, Doug Hurdy.
Yeah.
He said, my favorite mathematician.
Nice.
Ooh.
I'm glad he has a favorite mathematician.
Yeah.
I never thought about that much.
Right. I mean, you have to.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he'd be my favorite too. I mean, who else do I got to pick from? Fucking, Pythagoras?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
All he did was make some triangles.
Dry as fuck.
Yeah. Pythagoras.
Mm.
But yeah. So, is there anything else you want to talk about? The industrial society? Or?
No, I feel like we thoroughly bastardized the leftists. We put names on demons that can no longer run rampant in our society, and we've pretty much named their weaknesses. I wish that we had the doctor here, or that I had more time to read into it, but Ted Kaczynski gets into surrogate activities, and I want to say that the rise in the industrial society makes it to where basically you don't have to do anything to survive.
Yeah.
It's very little work required. Therefore, you lead to surrogate activities, which don't lead to personal happiness, and it causes you to, in fact, become unhappy or leftist and leaning. At least if you have that weak ideology that you can't affect yourself. He had another cool one on here of society that I'd share real quick as a parting note. He said, imagine a society that subjects people to conditions that make them terribly unhappy and then gives them the drugs to take away their unhappiness. Science fiction? No, it is already happening. In some extent in our own society. Instead of removing the conditions that make people depressed, modern society gives them antidepressant drugs. In effect, antidepressants are a means of modifying an individual's internal state in such a way to enable them to tolerate social conditions that would otherwise they would find intolerable. So, yeah, like I said, definitely go there, Bones and Tubbs blog, and check that out.
Read it for yourself.
Credit Washington Post, but he's got a lot of good things to say that make a lot of sense. Name a lot of demons.
Yeah.
We need to fucking have a spiritual purge, of sorts. Get rid of these demons.
Yeah.
Get back to a cleaner, healthier way of living. Mm-hmm. Start fighting the actual man.
Yeah.
Fight
That's
power.
made us this way in the first place.
Right.
I think in all reality, when it breaks down, is we've been winning so much for so long that a huge part of the population doesn't know how to cope with that. Like they got too introspective about the whole thing, and we're like, like when they start looking at they try to dissect things. Like, okay, say we won World War II, right? Well, at least in part. Okay, people want to dissect that and be like, okay, so we won. What did we have to do to win?
Right.
What kind of nasty fucking shit did we have? And that's where I think the self-loathing comes in. Yeah. Because when you do look at it, there's some nasty shit done. But the problem is that at the end of the day, they knew something had to be done. What were you going to do? Let them conquer? Right. You were gonna allow...
learn German?
Yeah, learn German or Japanese for that matter.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I saw a good quote from a World War II veteran the other day about that. Because someone said you can't fight ISIS because ISIS is an idea. Now, I don't fully agree with what this guy said. Where he's like, the hell you can't fight them. He's like, the Japanese imperialists were way more radical than they were. You know what we did? We went in there and kicked their little asses all around. We fucking dropped 2 bombs on them.
Dropped some nuclear truth on those bitches.
Yeah, and we won the war.
Somebody had a funny thing about the Japanese. It showed a clip of them and some of their... I mean, have you seen any of their popular culture now? It's like men in diapers.
Oh, yeah.
And some real foo-foo funny looking shit. And it said the Japanese never really recovered from World War II.
I've always said that, if you look at 2 cultures in the world that are known for their strange, if you could cite 2 cultures that have strange sexual proclivities... and it's open in their culture, what would you think of? The Germans and the Japanese, right?
Yeah, the 2 that got the biggest spanking so far in history.
Yeah. And see, as much as winning has affected us and changed us, look how much... just be glad you weren't on the losing side.
Right, no shit. But, I think our society suffers from 3 types of people. The one on the left hand, you got the leftist, Marxist types that are from a Starbucks... posting shit from their iPhones about capitalism being bullshit. Yeah. Right? As they fucking bathe in it. And then on the other side, you've got Trump's kids born in an ivory tower not fully understanding, and those are just representations. And then in the middle, you've got people like us that are like, working to pay the slave machine.
That when we get accused of privilege and white privilege and stuff like that, it only insulates us more from wanting to hear your cause.
Right.
Because the thing is, I was talking to somebody last night, and I was like, I'm not saying white privilege doesn't exist. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the difference between where I am and where white privilege is. The difference between me and white privilege is white privilege makes about probably at least $100,000 more a year than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's not about race, stupid. It's about class.
Right.
Okay?
Well, hopefully we've done a thorough job in exposing all these things, and they will be summarily destroyed.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for listening. Check out our Facebook page. You want us to send us a topic? Just send it to us on Facebook or our website, www.bonesandtubs.com. New episode every week. Check it out. And also, check out our Patreon page if you're feeling extra froggy. We're on iTunes, iTunes, BeyondPod, and Stitcher.
Yeah.
If you want to check out the show on any of those platforms. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'd like to thank Ryan Simpson for letting us use his music.
I like to make a domain request at where'sryan.com. It'd be like Where's Waldo, but with spy satellite images trying to find Ryan Simpson.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I'm afraid he's gone.
We need
underground.
To say that, or he stepped backstage for a minute.
Ooh, nice.
But American Gods reference there.
I like the show. I've been watching it.
I haven't got to watch it yet.
You gotta download Cody on your phone. Free TV. Don't pay for shit.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyways, all right. Well, thank you guys for listening to the show. We'll talk to you guys next week, and we hope you enjoy this.
We love you.
We really do.